So in our previous videos on functions, we have seen which relations are functions, what are composite functions, how do we find the domain and range of a given function. Now let us see what do we mean by inverse functions. Suppose we have a function, okay, so all the x values forms the domain, that are the independent values, and all the y values forms the range, that's the dependent values. Fine. So let us write the pairs of x and y value for this function. So when x is 1, that's a domain, the range becomes 2, y becomes 2. When x is 2, y is 2 times 2, which becomes 4. We know that this x and y are related by the relation y is equal to 2x. So when x is 3, it becomes 6. When x is negative 1, it becomes negative 2. Okay, so we have got the pair of values. The first one is the domain, the x value, and this is the range or the y values. Now let us see what happens when we swap the domain and range. When we swap the domain and range, we get 2, 1, 4, 2, 6, 3, and negative 2, negative 1. Now these are new x values and these are the new y values. And how is y and x related? We can write that y is equal to half of x. See, x is 2 here, y is half of x, which is 1. X is 4 here, y is half of it, which is 2. X is 6, so half of it is 3. And we say that y is equal to half of x is inverse of y is equal to 2 times x. Okay, so the inverse function of y is equal to 2x is y is equal to half of x. And how do we obtain the inverse? Swapping the domain and range. I hope this much is clear to everyone. Whenever a function is given, find the domain and the range for that function, swap the domain and the range function, and then whatever is the new domain and range for you, that will form your inverse function. Now let us see how do we represent an inverse function. So if f of x is equal to 2 of x, then the inverse of fx is f inverse x is equal to x by 2 as proved in the previous slide. So this represents the inverse of the function f of x. Okay, let us quickly see one more example. Say our f of x is equal to x plus 2. So let us form the sets of domain and range. So when x is 1, fx becomes 3, 1 plus 2. When x is 2, fx becomes 4. When x is negative 1, fx becomes 1. When x is 0, fx becomes 2, and so on. Now let us swap the domain and the range. So 1, 3 becomes 3, 1, 4, 2, 1, negative 1, 2, 0, and so on. We have done the swapping of domain and range. So this is a new x value and this is a new y value. This is our x value, this is our y value, and we see that in all of these pairs, y is always 2 less than x. And this y is obtained by swapping the domain and range of this function. So this y is nothing but the inverse of the function given above. So if f of x is equal to x plus 2, then f inverse of x is equal to x minus 2. I hope this much is clear to everyone. What do we mean by inverse function and how do we obtain the domain and range for the inverse function? If you have any doubts regarding this video, you can send me an email at kirti.mathacademy@gmail.com. This is my YouTube channel Mathacademy. If you have liked my videos, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.